I stood there holding a bottle of antibiotics that cost $140, listening to the cashier hum to a love song on the radio while my world quietly tilted off balance. A ping followed, my sister, Jenna, reacting with a laughing emoji. Another ping. A meme about drama queens. The pharmacist asked if I wanted a receipt. I nodded, but my hands trembled so hard that the paper slipped to the floor. I didn't pick it up. For a long moment, I just stared at the screen, at those familiar names in the family group chat, typing and laughing. Then I typed back one sentence. Then you won't need my card for the venue. And I hit send. The chat exploded with more laughter. They thought I was joking. I almost admired the confidence, that certainty that no matter what they did, I would stay, pay, forgive. They didn't know I was holding the one thing they couldn't afford to lose. My name was on every invoice, every deposit, every receipt. When I finally walked out of that pharmacy, the sky was heavy and low, the kind that looks like it's about to cry but never does. My reflection in the window looked like someone I didn't quite recognize, same eyes, same exhaustion, but something colder behind them. By the time I reached the car, I wasn't angry. Not yet. Just empty. It wasn't the first time they'd turned my kindness into currency. My mother, Angela, always said family helps family, which meant I helped, and everyone else received. I'd paid tuition, rent, hair appointments, emergencies that somehow always repeated. You're the responsible one, Adeline, she'd say. That night, after the kids were asleep, I sat at my kitchen table and scrolled through my emails. My cursor hovered over one from the venue coordinator, Glass Lake Pavilion, final confirmation. My name sat at the bottom in bold black letters, primary contact, Adeline Moore. I'd spent years paying for their peace. Tonight, for the first time, I wondered what mine might cost. Outside, thunder rolled over the city. I opened a new message and began to type. Can I cancel the booking if needed? My fingers paused over the keys. Then I hit send. And just like that, something in me began to shift quietly, but permanently. Yes, since you're the primary on file, cancellation is permitted. I read it twice. The words looked harmless, administrative, almost polite, but I felt them land somewhere deep and final. The group chat buzzed all morning. Jenna was sending cake samples, Megan was joking about bridesmaid dresses, Mom was assigning tasks like a general before battle. Not one of them mentioned the text from last night. By noon, I muted the chat. The silence was instant, beautiful, almost holy. At work, I went through spreadsheets, pretending numbers could drown thoughts. But guilt kept pushing through, that voice whispering that maybe I was overreacting. Maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe I was too sensitive. Then I remembered my son asking last week, Mom, why do Grandma and Aunt Jenna only visit when you're buying stuff? Kids don't lie. They just see clearer. That evening, my stepfather Rick called. His voice was low, tired. Hey, kiddo. I saw the messages. I waited for him to defend them, but he didn't. You don't deserve that, he said. You've done more than anyone. It was the first kind thing anyone in my family had said in months. I told him not to worry. He sighed. You've always covered for them. Maybe it's time they see what happens when you stop. When the call ended, I stared at my laptop again. The open tab with the venue contract looked back at me, like an invitation I hadn't realized I'd been waiting for. That night, the kids did homework at the kitchen counter while I scrolled through my bank app. Thousands spent. Promises broken. Every transaction told a story I no longer wanted to be in. It wasn't revenge I wanted. It was release. And somewhere between the quiet tapping of pencils and the hum of the fridge, I made my decision. I didn't cancel the venue that night. I waited. Sometimes, power is not in the act, it's in the waiting. The caption was a countdown. The photo, her smiling by the lake I'd paid to rent. I watched it for exactly 3 seconds before I opened my laptop. The coordinator, Melissa, answered on the second ring. Hi, Adeline. Are we confirming the final payment today? Her voice was warm, efficient. It almost made me hesitate. Actually, I said, steady, I need to cancel the event. Silence. Then a soft exhale. Understood. Since the contract's in your name, I'll process it right away. Click. Done. Months of planning erased in seconds. I sat back, waiting for guilt. It didn't come. Only stillness. That afternoon, I called Carla and Denise, Two friends who had eloped during the pandemic. Remember how you said you never had a real wedding? I asked. When I offered them the date and venue, they thought I was joking. No joke, I said. It's yours if you want it. Their tears came through the phone like music. I hadn't expected to cry too, but I did, not out of sadness, but something close to freedom. By evening, my family chat had gone silent. They must have gotten the venue's email. I imagined the chaos, Mom pacing, Jenna screaming, Megan typing in all caps. I didn't smile. Not yet. Because this wasn't revenge. This was the quiet sound of consequence. I didn't. Rick called that afternoon. They're losing it, he said, almost amused. Your mom's yelling, Jenna's crying, Megan's blaming everyone but herself. I told them, he continued softly, this would happen. You can't keep burning someone and expect them to hold the candle. I laughed for the first time in days. That night, my mom called the house phone, a number she hadn't used in years. How could you do this to your sister? She screamed. You sabotaged her wedding. I waited until she was out of breath. Was I even invited? Silence. Then excuses. You took that message the wrong way. We were joking. I almost laughed. You posted memes about it. Her tone cracked between guilt and fury. Don't make this worse. Just fix it. I hung up. No drama. No shouting. Just a clean end. The next morning, I met Rick for coffee downtown. His eyes were tired but kind. Your mom's impossible, he said. They're calling every venue in the county. Nothing's available. What about catering? Non-refundable, he smiled faintly. I stirred my coffee slowly. You know, maybe they'll learn something from this. Rick looked at me. Maybe they'll finally see who held them up. But we both knew they wouldn't. The wedding day came with rain, not gentle or cinematic, but furious, sideways, unforgiving. I didn't go, but photos found me. A cousin texted, what happened? The hall looked sad. Blurry pictures followed, beige walls, plastic flowers, folding chairs. The kind of place where dreams echo off cheap tile. Later that night, Rick called. His voice carried disbelief and exhaustion. You won't believe this. During the bouquet toss, one of Jenna's friends yelled that the groom's been texting her. Silence filled the line. Then laughter, his first real one in years. Your mom blamed me, he said. Said I invited the wrong people. What did you tell her? I told her she pushed away the only person who ever kept the family together. I didn't speak for a while. Just listened to the rain against the windows. When we hung up, the house was quiet. The kids were asleep. For the first time in years, so was my conscience. I poured tea, opened the window, and let the storm air fill the room. It smelled clean. Like ending should. 3 days later, Jenna texted me, hope you're proud. Everyone's talking about how cold you are. I read it once, set the phone down, and let it buzz until it stopped. 2 days after that, Rick texted, I'm leaving. When I called, his voice was steady. I told your mom I can't live in a house where decency is treated like betrayal. Then, quietly, I added your name to my insurance. You're the only one who ever treated me like family. My throat tightened. Thank you. That night, I stood on my balcony. The air was cool, the city lights soft. My kids were building a pillow fort inside, their laughter spilling through the door. My phone buzzed once more, Mom's name. You've made your point, but this is still your family. I typed back, I didn't cut anyone off. I just stopped funding my own mistreatment. She never replied. Inside, the fort collapsed in laughter. My son shouted, Mom, come help. And for the first time in years, I smiled, not the polite, tired kind, but real. The kind that starts deep in your chest and feels like home. I used to think love meant staying no matter how much it hurt. Now I know love without respect isn't loyalty. It's captivity. Walking away wasn't revenge. It was survival. And for once, peace didn't ask me to pay.